The Canadian flag waves alongside the red banner of China. This reflects a seismic shift in the global automotive industry. Canada has chosen to partner with China, sending shockwaves through the established order. Canada is embracing a future less reliant on the United States. The new Canada-China deal signals a changing of the guard. Chinese automakers see a golden opportunity in Canada. This partnership challenges the US and its waning influence. New factories will rise, powered by Chinese investment and Canadian expertise. The ink on the deal is dry, and the Canadian economy is already feeling the invigorating effects. The influx of Chinese investment injects vitality into the automotive sector and beyond. New jobs are created, not just on factory floors, but in research labs, design studios, and across the supply chain. The benefits extend far beyond the automotive industry. Chinese capital flows into infrastructure projects, breathing new life into Canadian communities. From transportation networks to renewable energy initiatives, Chinese investments are leaving their mark on the Canadian landscape. This partnership unlocks access to a market of unprecedented size and potential. China's burgeoning middle class. Canadian businesses armed with innovative products and services are poised to capitalize on this unparalleled opportunity. The economic benefits are undeniable, injecting dynamism and growth into the Canadian economy. The deal is a testament to Canada's strategic foresight. It signals a commitment to diversifying its economic partnerships and reducing its reliance on any single trading partner. This approach positions Canada for sustained economic success in an increasingly interconnected and competitive global market. The tremors from Canada's deal reverberate through the halls of Detroit. U.S. automakers, once dominant forces in the North American market, are now facing an unprecedented challenge. The cozy relationship they enjoyed with their northern neighbor has cooled, replaced by a new reality. The protectionist policies championed by the Trump administration have backfired spectacularly. Tariffs intended to shield American industries have instead driven a wedge between the US and its allies. Canada's pivot to China is a direct consequence of these short-sighted policies. US automakers are left grappling with the consequences. They face the prospect of losing significant market share in Canada as Chinese competitors gain a foothold. Consumers, enticed by competitively priced and technologically advanced Chinese vehicles, are increasingly open to alternatives. This situation serves as a stark warning to the US: the era of economic dominance is over. The global marketplace is no longer America's playground. To compete in this new landscape, the US must abandon its isolationist instincts and embrace a more collaborative and forward-looking approach to trade. The allure of Chinese investment is proving irresistible to Canadian businesses. With deep pockets and an insatiable appetite for growth, Chinese investors are welcomed with open arms. Joint ventures are formed, partnerships blossom, and opportunities abound. The influx of Chinese capital is not limited to mega corporations. Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, are also reaping the benefits. They gain access to funding, expertise, and new markets, propelling their growth and expanding their horizons. This wave of investment is transforming the Canadian business landscape. It fosters a culture of innovation as Canadian companies strive to meet the demands of their Chinese partners. This collaboration leads to the development of new technologies, products and services, enhancing Canada's competitiveness on the global stage. However, the influx of Chinese investment is not without its critics. Some voices express concerns about potential job displacement and the influence of Chinese state-owned enterprises. The Canadian government faces the delicate task of balancing economic opportunities with national interests, ensuring fair competition and protecting its workforce. Section 5. Adapt or perish U.S. automakers at a crossroads. The alarm bells are ringing for U.S. automakers. The Canadian market, once a reliable source of profits, is slipping away. To survive, they must confront a stark choice: adapt or perish. Clinging to outdated business models and relying on past glories is a recipe for disaster. The Chinese auto industry, once dismissed as a producer of cheap imitations, has undergone a remarkable transformation. They are now at the forefront of innovation, particularly in electric vehicles and autonomous driving technologies. US automakers, slow to embrace these trends, are playing catch-up. The Canadian market, now flooded with Chinese vehicles that are technologically advanced, fuel-efficient and stylish, reflects this new reality. Consumers are voting with their wallets and their message is clear: innovate or become irrelevant. This is a wake-up call for U.S. automakers. They must embrace a future defined by electrification, automation and sustainability. They must invest heavily in research and development, streamline their operations and prioritize the needs of a changing consumer base. The time for complacency is over. The Canada-China partnership is about more than just economic gain. It represents a shared commitment to innovation and sustainability, shaping the future of Canadian manufacturing. This collaboration is a catalyst for progress, driving the development and adoption of cutting-edge technologies and environmentally responsible practices. Chinese companies at the forefront of electric vehicle production and battery technology bring their expertise to Canada. Canadian companies in turn offer their strengths in areas like lightweight materials and clean energy solutions. This synergy creates a fertile ground for innovation, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Sustainability is not an afterthought, but a core principle. Both countries recognize the urgency of addressing climate change and are committed to reducing their environmental footprint. The partnership fosters the exchange of best practices and the development of innovative solutions for a greener future. This focus on innovation and sustainability is transforming Canadian manufacturing. It's creating a more competitive and resilient sector, poised to thrive in the global economy of the 21st century. Canada is no longer content to be a follower. It's stepping up as a leader, shaping the future of industry. The Canada-China trade deal is not an isolated event. It's a symptom of a much larger transformation, the reshaping of the global trade order. The old certainties are gone, replaced by a more fluid and multipolar landscape. Traditional alliances are being tested as countries prioritize their own economic interests and seek out new partnerships. The rise of protectionism, exemplified by the trade war between the United States and China, has only accelerated this trend. Countries are seeking to diversify their trading partners, reduce their dependence on any single market, and build resilience against economic shocks. The Canada-China deal is a prime example of this new reality. Canada, once heavily reliant on the US market, is now actively diversifying its economic relationships. This strategic shift reflects a broader awareness that the global economy is no longer defined by a single superpower. This new era of global trade presents both opportunities and challenges. It demands agility, adaptability, and a willingness to forge new partnerships. Countries that embrace this changing landscape will be best positioned to succeed in the decades to come. Canada's decision to embrace China is not without its complexities. It requires a delicate balancing act, weighing the promise of economic prosperity against geopolitical realities and ethical considerations. Navigating this tightrope demands diplomatic finesse and a steadfast commitment to Canadian values. China's human rights record and its increasingly assertive foreign policy have raised concerns in many Western capitals. Canada, while eager to deepen economic ties, cannot turn a blind eye to these issues. It must engage with China in a spirit of frank dialogue, advocating for its values while pursuing its interests. This balancing act will require a nuanced approach. Engaging with China does not mean condoning its every action. It means recognizing the complexities of the relationship and finding ways to cooperate where possible while standing firm on fundamental principles. Canada's success in navigating this delicate balance will be closely watched by other countries grappling with similar challenges. It will require a combination of pragmatism, principle, and a clear-eyed understanding of the evolving geopolitical landscape. The Canada-China trade deal marks a new chapter in their relationship. It's a relationship defined by opportunity and complexity. Both sides must approach this partnership with mutual respect. For Canada, the deal is a strategic bet on the future. It's a bet that China's economic rise will continue, presenting opportunities for Canadian businesses. Engagement rather than isolation is key to advancing Canadian interests globally. For China, the deal signifies its growing global influence. It shows China's eagerness to build global partnerships. Success depends on managing differences, building trust, and finding common ground.